Welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Reshaping Business with Integrity, the podcast where we explore how to run your business authentically and with integrity. I'm your host, Elisa Bogarts, a business coach and launch manager, helping coaches launch their programs and events that align with their business values. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to building a successful business without sacrificing morals, ethics, authenticity, or heart. Let's dive in. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about how to build your authority, credibility, and visibility to make more sales and get even more speaking engagements. And today, my guest is Eric F. King, and he is a sales and leadership coach, speaker, best-selling author, and entrepreneur. He is the founder of studiospeaking.com. Known as the king of studio events, Eric helps speakers, coaches, and consultants boost their credibility, authority, visibility, and income by speaking at his studio events and through his coaching. His company has been featured in USA News, NBC, and Digital Journal. Welcome, Eric. I'm excited to have you on the show.
Great to be here.
Yeah. So tell us about, how you got into this field of work and why you're just so passionate about it.
Yeah, so I actually got into it by accident. It's funny, everything I've done in my career happened by accident, but I guess, it was supposed to happen, right? I started out in sales. I wanted to be in marketing behind the scenes, but the company that recruited me, Xerox, they said they didn't have any spots in advertising, so they had to get me into sales, and I didn't want to be in sales because I didn't like salespeople. I didn't like anything about sales. But then I met a mentor of mine who taught me that sales is not getting someone to buy something they don't need. It's helping people to get what they already need. And that's when I changed my mindset and I figured, oh, I'm
Right.
helping people. And I did very well in that. I moved up to VP of sales. And then when I left the
Wow.
company, I left because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I want to have my own business. And then I realized that a lot of entrepreneurs are not actually good at selling their offers. They feel that they're being too pushy or whatnot. So I started coaching entrepreneurs on sales. So I became a sales coach.
Oh,
And then so everything just happened by accident, right? Yeah. And then I started going on podcasts and online events to promote myself. And that's how I fell into speaking in a studio. And it was so beneficial to me. I knew that I can help more people doing that. And that's when I started my company, studiospeaking.com. And we've had, dozens and dozens of people that have spoken on the stage and benefited from doing so.
very cool. Wow, what a journey. I love that. It was like, oh, sales is the awful S word.
Yes.
But you're
Yeah.
right, it is a mindset change. And I think that so many people have that negative connotation with sales, but you're right to sort of, help people get what they need. So yeah,
Mm.
like especially with Xerox, they need ink. So give them the ink.
Exactly.
Or whatever it
Exactly.
is they might need.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so great. And the studios, that's so interesting. I haven't actually been in one of those, but I've seen quite a few people that have, and they just look absolutely fabulous.
Yes, yes. It looks
Mhm.
like you're on TV. It's a
Yeah.
different stage. It's a different type of stage. Yes.
Yes. And I remember I saw a woman once, um, and there was like multiple rooms. There was rooms where she sort of had all the screens, and then behind her was like this kind of whiteboard, and then she had this little sort of more like smaller desk, and like it was really cool things that they can do with the studios.
Yes. Yes.
Where is
Absolutely.
yours located?
So my studio is in North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina. So most of my speakers fly in. They fly in the day before, and then we do a reception and a tour and everything. Because it's always I would have 6 to 12 speakers. So we actually go to lunch together, breakfast, dinner, all of that. So it's a real fun event. And then the next day is when we actually have the event, and each speaker comes out and speaks. I give them an award for their past accomplishments on stage to
Ah,
build their credibility. Yeah, and then we also do video of them speaking, right? So now they have the videos that they can use for reels and whatnot. We create it for them so they don't have to edit or anything. And then we have a photo shoot because people always need pictures, right? You need
mhm.
pictures for your website, for your books, for whatever. So we do the photo shoot, and then we put them in a magazine so people can see them in print. Yeah, so there's a lot that we do for our speakers, and it's people always, I have tons and tons of testimonials on the site because people just appreciate so much that they can come to one place and get a lot of what they need.
Yeah, that's amazing. All in one place, all at the same time. And yeah, probably
Yeah.
get to build relationships as well. I'm sure there's some networking
Yes,
with the people
yes.
that do it. And then yeah, you get it all. That's incredible. What a great
Yes.
service.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
tell me, how do you think that we can reshape business to be more in integrity?
Yeah, so for me, I just feel that it's the golden rule: do unto others. I know it sounds elementary, but I'll tell you a story. There's a lady that spoke on my stage. Her name is Kenyatta, and she when we were speaking about it on Zoom, she sounded this sounds interesting, but I'll get back to you. So she called somebody that knew me 20 years ago in
Okay.
like 2001 in Atlanta, right? So she knew someone that knew me 20 years ago. She called that person to find out about me, like my character. And the guy said, "Oh, Eric is a straight up guy. I worked with him. We had the same business together. I'd work with him again." So I didn't know that she was having this conversation with a guy in Atlanta, and I'm living in Maryland now. So then she calls me back and said, "I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do it." So she does it. And then she later tells me of the conversation she had with Michael. And I'm like, wow, right? But my reputation precedes me. The
Mm.
reason she joined was because of what Michael told her about me 20 years ago. And then the story gets even more interesting. I go to this National Speakers Association event in Colorado last year, and we had a booth. And this booth, we had a big banner. And guess who is on the banner? Kenyatta, because he's on the banner. Someone sees Kenyatta and says, "I know her. She's a friend of mine." So this person calls Kenyatta to find out about me. And Kenyatta said, "Oh yeah, I spoke on the stage," and now she ended up speaking on my stage.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So your reputation precedes you. I always focus on doing what's right for my clients. Because the fact is that not all money is good money. You don't just want to make money from somebody. You want to help them, right? So
Mhm.
so so if you come to me and you say, "This is what I need. I want to be a professional public speaker and I need you to coach me on how to be a speaker." That's not what I do. So I
Mm.
won't take your money because that's not, I could try, but that's not what I do, right? I
Right.
help people that already speak and I put them on a stage. So I would refer you to someone that can help you. That's integrity. That's integrity
Hmm.
because now that person gets what they're looking for instead of me
Right.
trying to take their money and just trying to wing it and try and be a public speaking coach, right? Because
Right.
now it leaves a bad taste in that person's mouth because like he didn't actually do what he said he was going to do, right? So now obviously they won't refer any business to me, right? So the way I look at it is anytime you meet somebody, you want to leave them better off than you found them, whether they buy from you or not. That's how I look at it.
Yes, I absolutely love that. And as you were speaking about that, and maybe just sort of think, some people try to fit somebody into their thing, kind of like the square peg round hole thing. And I could just see that with somebody with you is like, oh, well, I need like coaching on speaking. And then you'd be like, oh, it's fine. Just get on my stage and speak. And, I'll give you the whole package, but it
Yeah.
probably would be a terrible talk, right? They're on stage and then they would have all this content that they're probably never going to use because they didn't really know what they were
Because
doing. And it was,
I really didn't teach them what they needed. I didn't give them what they needed. What they
right.
needed was the
Yeah.
coaching part, So
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I feel like some people get rushed into things a little bit too soon, right?
yeah.
Because someone is just sort of trying to sell them something, or like they
Mhm.
may need it eventually, but not now. And I
No.
find that with my programs too. If I meet somebody who's sort of a newer coach and they're not, because I help coaches launch their programs. And so it's like, okay, well, you're not doing the group coaching yet, or you need to have some coaching. Like I need you to be doing it for a good few years because before you come see me, I need you to, be making some money, making some sales that that a group program is going to sell. I almost need you to have that group program figured out before we're going to launch it. So, come back to me when you're ready, kind of thing, or I can, send you to somebody who does work with newbies and they can teach you how to set it all up. So, yeah.
It's funny you should say that because a lot of speakers that speak on my stage, I ask them, I said, "Do you have an offer? Do you have a coaching program? Do you have anything, And then they say, "Well, I'm not really, but since you help people in sales, can you just help me create one?" I'm like, "Well, that's not my forte. You need to
Mm.
talk to someone that helps create offer. I can help you once you have it to so you can sell it without being pushy, but it's that I'm not an expert in helping people create their offers and create their coaching, or I'll send them to you or to somebody. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
so I'm glad you said that because I get that too. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? That's not what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not what I do.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find I say that a lot to people. I'm like, no, I don't do that. I even had a client recently who we got to a point where we're trying to, it was time to start selling her program, and she sort of sent a few emails, and I was trying to, and not really give coaching, but just saying, oh, I think it's really good if you send different emails to the same group because some people will open it, so like different subject lines and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, and I suggest that you start promoting it into sort of, we had like a list of things that worked well with her that she said that she would be happy. And then I remember we were talking about it, and she's like, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to sell my program. And I was like, oh, well, I'm really sorry. Like, I can give you a list of things of ways that you can promote, and I can tell you to get on a sales call, but you're the one who has to get on that call. You're the one who has to, figure out what you want to say to them. I was like, okay, well, I suggest that you maybe talk to this person or maybe talk to that person, because we're at time right now. And we're not gonna be able to fill your program unless you can sell it. And I'm not going to teach you how to sell it. I'm going to tell you got to sell it.
Yeah,
And
but
we're
you
launching
can't.
it this time. So maybe get on some calls this week. I can kind of do that task masking and the timing of it, but I'm not going to teach you how to sell it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So it's really good. I think, and that is being in integrity to really kind of hold that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just stay within your wheelhouse.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So let's
Yes.
dive into giving some sort of, yeah, how does someone build their authority, their credibility, their visibility to really make more sales and get more speaking engagements?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll give you a few, I'll give your audience a few pointers. One of them is what we alluded to is being an expert at something, being good at something. Sometimes like people fill out a form to speak on my stage and I ask them, what's your areas of expertise? What do you speak about? What is your signature talk? And they're like, well, I'm a mindset coach and I also help people with their social media and I do insurance on the side and they're doing all these things. And I'm like, you got to be an expert at something. Nobody's going to hire you and pay you to speak on a stage if you're not an expert at something. And nobody's going to pay you a high ticket price if you're not an expert at something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So find something that you can do well or you can learn to do well and focus on it. And then once you become really good at that, you have that stream, then you can do some other things. People like to be want to have multiple streams off the bat, right? You can't do that. You can't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So that's one thing I tell people.
And
Another thing,
as you were saying that, I was like, the word popped up in my head, sort of like, be indispensable. And I
mm,
find that with some of the clients that I work with, they'll actually say, everybody needs an Elisa. And when they
mm,
say that, it just warms my heart. And I think, oh, yeah, okay.
yes,
Like, I must be giving you great value because of that.
exactly,
And I never
exactly.
really, like, you don't sort of, sometimes you don't think of yourself that way. But then I was like, oh, yeah, actually, like, in that coach's business, I am indispensable to them.
Yes,
And
that's a
therefore,
compliment.
that kind of gives me the credibility in my own head to think, okay, yes, I
Mhm.
am an expert in that. Okay, so
Yes, you
yeah,
must be. You must be an expert.
right.
Yes, yes. So that's one thing. Another thing I tell people is nowadays you have to get on video. You have to get on video. A lot of people say, well, Eric, I'm not comfortable getting on video. I'm like, I
Mm,
understand that, but you have to learn how to do it. It's a learned skill, right? The
yeah.
first day I was on video, I was not comfortable. When I saw that red light, I must have done 20 takes. And my son is like, Dad, you've done this a lot of times. I'm like, I know, because I wanted to be perfect,
Mm,
but now I do videos. I am not perfect, and I don't even do a take two or take three because I realize that people are not looking for perfection. They just want they want the value. They want you to be authentic anyway, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
people need to do more videos because videos connect. People feel connected to you, right? I remember a time a lady got on a Zoom call with me. She was looking at my sales program, and she told me that she forgot she has to go pick up her son. So she said, I can't actually stay for the 30 minutes. But she said, can you go ahead and put your link in the chat? I'll get it, I'll buy it, and then we'll talk later. So she did that. And then later on, I asked her, I said, why would you get the program when I never even went over everything with you? She said, well, I've been watching your videos for a long time. So I know that if you can do that for free, give me that. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be valuable. And I trust you anyway because I feel like I know you because of the videos. She's like, I feel
Right.
like I know you, right? So videos are very important. 80% of the content that's consumed online are videos, video content. So
Really
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So people need videos. So I always tell people you need videos to on your website. You should not have a website without videos because that's where people go first. And another thing
Mm,
is if you have a competitor, someone that does what you do, and they have videos, of them speaking, of them doing lives, of them, maybe at a panel discussion, and you don't have any videos, you can have 25 years more experience than them. They look like they're more experienced than you because
Mm.
they see them doing it. And it's weird how that works, but that's how it is. That's how it is, So
Wow. That's
yeah,
so
so
interesting. 80%. It's funny because I'm one of the resistors of the videos.
okay,
And you're all saying this and makes me feel like, oh yeah, I should probably do that.
okay.
Because I don't even I'm one of the 20% that doesn't consume much video, to be honest.
Okay.
I prefer to read. And
Mhm.
sometimes when I watch a video, then they kind of like lose me sometimes. But and it's interesting, one of the projects I'm on right now is all about YouTube. And we're doing some video, and I was like, is this what you're looking for? Like, I would never watch that, but apparently people watch video, like you're saying, 80% of people. So I'm like one of the weirdos that doesn't.
You're not a weirdo. You're not a weirdo.
But I think that you're absolutely right. And sometimes you just kind of got to get out of your own way. And I love what you just said. Like, I thought about stuff. I'm like, oh, I have been on panel discussions and things like that. I got to grab those videos. It's already done. It wasn't
Yes.
like prepared in some way. It was just on someone's Zoom. So I might as well grab some of that
Mhm.
content and throw it
Mhm.
together and put it on the website. It could be that simple, right? It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
this like hugely scripted thing where you're all
No,
polished and
no,
perfect. And
no.
yeah.
Sometimes when it's authentic, when it shows that it's not perfect, people actually believe it more. You didn't,
Mm.
people actually believe it more. Yeah. So that's important. Another thing that's important is social proof. So if you have clients that you've helped, you want testimonials from some of those clients to be on your page. Why? Because no matter what anybody says, the people will listen to your clients' testimonials more than they'll listen to you. That's the way it is, right? They want to know. They want to know. Okay, I wonder if what she says, if she actually do it. Let me hear from these people, right? So you want to have testimonials, both written and video, and video.
Mm.
And it's
Okay.
actually easier to get video than you think. So let's say you have a client and you helped your client, and she was so happy about what you did for her. She was telling you, "I like how you helped me with my course. Now I was able to sell it yesterday." Blah blah. Then you just ask her a simple question. What would it be possible for you to say what you just said in a short video so I can put it on my website? The same thing you just said, just repeat it on a video, less than a minute. And they're like, oh, sure. And then they do that, and then you put it on your website, right? Very simple. And for people that don't want to do that, say, well, do you mind putting that in writing, and you can put it on my website? Because again, it's going to help you get a lot more people. That gives you the credibility for that because they've seen other people that are benefiting the way they plan to be benefited from you. So
Exactly. And you
testimonials.
can even do it right then and there. Like if you're in, your coaching program, you're actually on
Mhm,
Zoom with them,
mhm,
and
mhm.
they literally just said something, be like, hey, could you repeat that? I'm just going to hit record.
Exactly.
And almost doing it.
Absolutely.
It's like, then it's like
Absolutely.
raw and authentic and it's right in the moment. And they literally just said it. They're in that mindset. And then you have the video right away because sure Zoom.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you
So,
can
so,
literally do it right then and there.
someone actually asked me, she said, what about my speaking engagement? Like he said, I'll do a speaking engagement and then I'll contact the meeting holder to give me a testimonial. And sometimes it's hard to get a hold of them. I said, well, that's because you're contacting them too late. You ask them the second you're done.
Yeah.
The second you're done, you get off the stage, they're like, great job, great job. He said, well, do you mind just giving me a quick testimony on how you felt about my speech? Sure. Well, you were, and they remember everything you said, and they say it with excitement because it just happened. That's what you want. You don't want to contact someone a month later and say, yeah, remember the speech I did a month ago? What do you think about it? Like, I don't really remember what you said. So yeah, so it works for speaking engagements too because the people that are hiring you to speak want to hear from people that have already hired you. They want to hear what they
Mm,
have to say about you. Yeah, so that's
yeah.
it's one of the things that's very important also to build your credibility.
Do you ever recommend that people say if you are sort of on a summit on Zoom or something and you just finished your talk and people are like giving love in the chat to actually like screenshot the chat? Do you ever?
Yes, yes, you can do that. You can do that. Because here's the thing: if someone puts it on Zoom, it's public knowledge.
Right.
You can screenshot it. Absolutely, it's public knowledge. No one's gonna say, "Well, I don't want people to see that." Well, then why did you put it in there? Like anything's
Right.
public. So yeah, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good thing too. And
Yeah.
sometimes even to
Mhm.
if they allow it to like screenshots, you can see all the different people, right? So it looks like you're in this room with everyone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that leads me to another thing. So we're talking about credibility, authority, and visibility. So I'm going to talk about visibility now. And visibility has to do with being seen on more stages, right? Being seen on more stages. When people see you on various stages, you become more visible, but then it also increases your credibility and authority because they're like, wow, I saw him speak just last month there, and I saw him last week. And wait, he just posted another podcast. So they assume you must know what you're talking about if you are being invited to all these places to speak. Right? Right. Yeah. So you want to, people will get on a podcast and won't promote the podcast they were on. Why wouldn't you? It's mutually beneficial. It's mutually beneficial. Why keep it to yourself, right? So that's what I do, right? So you want to be on multiple stages. I have a stage, but I don't say just come to mine. No, you need to be on podcasts, you need to be on online summits, anywhere you can share your message. Don't be a secret. Don't be don't be the best kept secret of your state, right? You want to be out there. So speaking on multiple stages adds to your credibility and definitely your visibility. Speaking on multiple
100%.
stages.
And there are actually like a lot of stages out there. Like there are so many places where you can apply to speak on summits, where there's so many podcasters out there. Like even in this event that we're in right now, Podapalooza, there's 40 podcasters right here, right now. And
Yes.
so it's easier than you may think to
Yes.
actually have some speaking opportunities. Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember when there was no podcast at all, no social media. When I started my business, I used to do ads in a magazine. And I'll do an ad will be like this small. I pay like $350. Sometimes I'll get like 6 leads and nobody buys. Why? Because there's no like and trust. They don't know who I am. They don't know they can't see a video of me. They didn't see me on a podcast. It's much easier now than ever before, but people don't know it because if they're not as old as me, then they don't know. They think it's always been like this.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, there's never been an easier time, a better time to get on stages than now.
100%.
You can go onto ChatGPT and you can say, let's say you want to speak on leadership, and you can say, ChatGPT, give me a list of leadership conferences in the next 1 year, and it will give you a whole list. And then you can say, give me the contact information of the meeting holders, and it will even give you phone numbers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So what
incredible.
else you want? For free. And not all of them will let you speak on their stage, but you don't need every one of them. You don't need
Right.
every
No, exactly. Yeah. Just go.
So
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. Oh, that's such a great action for people to take away. Thank you so much for
yes.
sharing that. So just to kind of, recap, first we talked about the whole being integrity, really help people to get what they need. And as we're talking about building your authority and your credibility and your visibility, really, you got to be an expert at something that you can speak at for sure. Get on video. It's okay, people. We can do it. Those 20% of us that don't want to, we can do it. Have social proof. And sorry, everybody. He just got pulled away from my room. But yeah, so his other point was to get social proof, and you can get it as a video as well, and to really get on stages. And so the way I believe that you can reach out to Eric F. King is at studiospeaking.com. And I'm sure on there you can find all of his information. And I will have more information about him in the show notes for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically. So please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you, be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa, signing off authentically.